So the reason that I'm recording this video is because I want you, I guess the viewer, whoever's watching any of these videos on my YouTube channel, to understand and to know that everything is real in these videos. There's nothing that has been faked or hoaxed or put on or anything. This is, what you see is real. What you hear is real. All of these videos are recorded at our last home, our last house. We've since about 7 months ago, we bought our forever home, so that's great. But so we were renting this house, which was in the neighborhood next to ours, the backside of it, for like 2.5 years. Okay, so we lived there for about 2.5 years, and we wanted to move sooner than that. Trust me. However, due to finances, sure, I wanted to make sure we had enough down payment, for our next house, because you buy your forever home, I mean, $425 grand, that's a lot of money, you know what I mean? So you gotta have a good down payment. So yeah, we stayed there for that 2.5 years or so, a little bit too long, but it was while this paranormal activity was taking place. So, all right, let me get down to brass tacks. It primarily, whatever it was, or I think that, me personally, I think there are multiple entities. I think there were just multiple entities. I think there was a man that was always downstairs. He might come upstairs at times. There was a woman and a young girl's voice. A young woman and a woman's voice, I should say, and a young girl's voice, like a kid, almost like a 10-year-old or something like that age. And I say that because I've gotten multiple EVP recordings, and I'm sure you probably know what EVP is, electronic voice phenomenon. I got a lot of those. And in these EVPs, I would find commonalities. I would find excuse my language, well, heck, that's the same voice. You know what I mean? As I heard 2 months ago or whatever. So that's kind of how I know. And so, what else about this? Let me just go over the right-hand lane. I'll drive a little slow. They primarily sought me out more than anybody else in the family. And it all started where, for me, we'd been in the house less than a month, and it was like a Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon, and I'm sitting here putting my wife's socks and underwear or whatever, like in her drawer in our bedroom, the master bedroom, and like I had shorts on and flip-flops and a t-shirt, and all of a sudden the back of my calf starts burning, and I'm like, what the heck is that? So I look down, and sure as heck, it's 3 scratches on the back of my calf. And I couldn't believe it, and I was kind of like in denial. I'm not an idiot. I've watched Ghost Adventures and the shows like that on TV, and I understand what 3 scratches probably is from or what it means. And I hadn't been doing anything whatsoever to get 3 scratches on the back of my calf. So it started with that. I didn't even tell my wife that for like the first year, maybe longer than the first year. Anyhow, I didn't tell her because I didn't want her to flip out. But I didn't know there was other paranormal activity going on. Wow, this video is getting a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Well, anyhow. The main point, the main takeaway from this whole video is just to understand that everything in these videos is real. I'm not lying about anything. Everything's real. It's legit. Ghosts are real. We lived through it. I lived through it. There's some things that happened that, I haven't even told, but my wife knows. Absolutely, she does, because I can tell her everything. But there's, a few things that I don't think I'll ever tell anybody, because it makes me sound too crazy. And I know I'm not crazy, but paranormal shit will make you sound crazy if you tell people what you experienced. What the hell? Guy almost hit me. I'm supposed to be the one doing the bad things because I'm on the phone. Any hooser. So where am I at? So let me finish the story here. Let me think where I was. Okay, so I got scratch in the back of the calf, and that's kind of what made me realize what was going on, or what it might be. So from there, I started feeling things. I started hearing voices. I started feeling my body. It would be like somebody would touch me or pinch me. Not so much pinch, but like touched. Lots of whispering, lots of voices, like mumbling in the room. Like usually in the upstairs, the DJ room. We call it the DJ room. It's just like a bonus room, whatever. I've been a DJ for like 20, 21 years, so we just always had a room where I can go and DJ, you know? It's not what I do for a living. I'm a sales engineer, for lack of better words, you know, during the daytime. But at nighttime, I turn into one badass bedroom DJ now. That's when I go spin vinyl. It's what I do. It's my jam. So started hearing the voices and stuff, and it was like you'd hear people talking, but you couldn't really make out what they were saying, but you knew that it was people's voices and they were talking, and it was like mumbled. Like, it was so weird. It's like you could almost hear what they're saying, but it's mumbled. And it's funny, as I've seen on TV, Ed and Lorraine Warren, those, I think she passed away. Maybe he did too, I'm not sure. Probably, they're both, you know, probably getting a little bit old. But they were like, she was like the first one, like, that dealt with, like, was it Amityville? Yeah, so she's like a psychic medium, and they were like ghost hunters, like the first ones, like, before, like, anybody became a ghost hunter, before Zach Baggins and, you know, Nick Groff and Aaron Goodwin, before any of those dudes or anybody else. Taps, those three peeps. Anyhow, they said, and I saw this a couple years ago, like the mumbling, like that's very common. That's what you would hear in a haunting. Anyhow, whatever. I heard that, and I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I didn't have a plan on what I was going to say. And I'm driving home, and all of a sudden now my heart's beating fast because I'm excited. I've wanted to do this, just never really taken the time or the guts to record this, you know. Yeah, I guess, you know, it takes a little guts. I guess it does, you know, to like post something like this online. You know, I put myself out there, but whatever. Okay, so here's a few things you should know. When we were in the house, I would snap pictures, take photographs, but I would do it with what is called live mode. So I had an iPhone 10, I think it was an iPhone 10 the whole time I was at the house, maybe an iPhone like 8, the beginning part or whatever, but then pretty much an iPhone 10 XR. And this is really important because it seemed to like always happen when this, anyhow. So when I would snap a photo, when I felt something, and I say when I felt something, I would hear this is what you really have to believe. I would hear this high-pitched frequency sound, like as if you turned on a TV. You know that like high-pitched frequency sound you hear, but it was like 20 octaves, 50 octaves higher than that. And it was very weird. But I knew whenever that high-pitched frequency sound came on, or I could hear it, it was like this. I mean, it was so loud or so high up there, and you could, I don't know. It's like turning a TV on, that high-pitched sound, but like 50 octaves higher. Anyhow, I would hear that, and I would know that some spirit's around, something is about to pop off. Like it's just it, because it always happened. I would have that high-pitched frequency sound would come on, and I would hear it, and then that's when paranormal stuff happened. So anyhow, I would have my phone, and I would take pictures with live mode on. And live mode is just an option on the iPhone where it takes like a second, half a second to like maybe 3 or 4 seconds, 2 seconds of like recorded video. So it's like you take the picture and it records a second or two of video. That's it. Well, what happens is if you hold your thumb down so you're scrolling through your pictures, right? Just look at the pictures you just took, and they're all in live mode, but they just look normal pictures when you're scrolling through. But if you stop and then you hold your thumb down on the photo, it then activates the video that it took or whatever of that picture. So then you see like a 1 to 2, 3 second, 4 second clip of, you know, whatever it was. People standing there smiling or something, you know, whatever. It's live mode. All right, so you guys know what live mode is now. Now, if you have live mode on and you flick your thumb, I believe, up, or you're looking at the photos and you flick your thumb up, you see an option to convert to video, okay? And so that changes that picture that you just took into a 2 or 3 second or 1 second long actual recorded video. And that's, I would do that and convert it to video, because then I could like put it on like an editing software thing where I could, you know, combine a whole bunch of different videos together. You couldn't do it with pictures because the format wasn't right or whatever. Like the program wouldn't accept it. Anyhow, and I'm not editing these videos like putting things in and taking things out. I'm not like that. Anyhow, so what I noticed was when you took a photo in live mode, and then after the fact, then you would go and hold your thumb down and watch that little video, or watch that picture. That's when I would get lots of paranormal stuff would show up. Lots of voices, lots of EVPs, full sentences. You'll see in these videos. And there's something about it. I don't know what it is, but that's when you get lots of activities, or that's when you find lots of things. It's weird. And my heart's beating so fast right now. I need to calm down. Woosah. All right, cool. So there were a few times, and I'm going to try to wrap this up, guys, so I'm not boring you all to death. But I just want you all to know that it's real, that nothing has been faked, nothing was hoaxed. Ghosts, spirits, trapped, whatever you want to call them, trapped people, I don't know, trapped entities, whatever. It's real. They are fucking real. They are so real. Oh my God, they're real. If you only knew. There were a couple times where, all right, here's one time. Courtney, or I shouldn't say that, my wife, I'm going to leave my wife's name out of it. You heard it just then, but I won't bring it up too much. My wife and 2 boys are sitting on the couch in the living room, or the family room, or whatever, watching TV. And I come home from being at like Kroger or something like that. I'm walking in, and as soon as I walk in, I look at Carson, Brody, and my wife. So Carson's 11, Brody's 6, our two boys. And all 3 of them have a look on their face like they just saw a ghost. I'm like, what is going on? And like as soon as I said something, they noticed that I was in the room, that all 3 of them started going, started talking to me real fast. And I'm like, whoa, calm down. And they're all like, Dad, the Christmas tree just shook. It just shook on its own. And I'm like, huh, what? And Brody then said something like, Dad, it just shook on its own, like nobody was there. And I look at my wife and she gives me this look like, it's real. There's no, she didn't know what it was, but she knew that it wasn't normal, and she knew that she didn't want to scare the kids. So, you know, she just kind of gave me that look in her eyes, and I knew. And so we kind of tried to downplay it a little bit, but I took a couple pictures of the Christmas tree. And this was like just seconds after this had happened. And let's rewind just a little bit, just so you know. This Christmas tree, when we brought it in the house, it died like really fast. Like the needles started falling off real fast. Like after like the 3rd day or 2nd day. Anyhow, Brody had vacuumed underneath the Christmas tree all the pine needles. So the red Christmas tree skirt was clean. You know, it used to have lots of pine needles that had fallen down from it. So he'd vacuumed it up with a little handheld vacuum cleaner about 30 to 45 minutes before I had gotten there, before I came back home. So basically the Christmas tree skirt should be clean, right? Well, he went underneath there and scooped a pile up. I mean, it's a pile. You'll see the picture, but it's a pile of, like a mound of of pine needles that had, from the tree being shaken. Anyhow, so I took a photo of the pile of pine needles. I took a photo of one of the Christmas ornaments that rolled out, that fell off the tree and rolled halfway across, more than halfway across the room, or at least halfway across the room. I took a picture of that. And in both of those photographs, 2 EVPs are absolutely present. One says, when I take the picture of the Christmas ornament, you hear somebody say, clear as day. He's whispering it, but he goes, I was bored. I was bored. And the other one, the picture of the pile of pine needles, you hear what sounds like a young girl about 10 years old talking to her mother, maybe, or a mother talking to a younger girl or something like that. But it sounds like they're in a bathtub because there's a giant slosh of water, like exactly what it would sound like if you were in a bathtub and your kids were in there sloshing around. Like, that's just what it sounded like. So that EVP pops up. Well, then, whatever, fast forward 10 minutes, Courtney and I decide, I go upstairs to the DJ room, and Courtney comes up there, and we're talking, and I wanted to get the full, get all the information on it. And so we're talking about it, and she's telling me, yeah, this something weird happened, and she was a non-believer really before this. And for some reason, I just decided, you know what? We don't have any pictures of the two of us, any recent ones. So why don't I just take my phone, prop it against the TV upstairs in the bonus room. There's a couch up there and DJ equipment and a TV. And so I just grab my phone and just prop it up underneath the TV, resting up there. And then I hit like a 5-second or 10-second or whatever it is, the little timer on my phone. And I hit, snap the picture, and the counter goes down or whatever. We're sitting there on the couch, smiling, waiting for the thing to go off. And as soon as the picture's taken, all of a sudden, you hear Carson from downstairs and he's sitting on the couch, and Brody was either on the couch with him, or I think he might have been in his bedroom. The Christmas tree starts shaking again, and you hear Carson scream, Mom, Dad, come down here, it's happening again. And sure as heck, when I look at that photo that was taken in live mode, it's Courtney and I smiling like, hey, snuggled up to each other on the upstairs couch. You hear in the background the Christmas tree shaking, like you hear the ornaments banging against the tree or against each other, and then you hear Carson screaming, Mom, Dad, come down here, it's happening again. So yeah, that happened. We were able to downplay that a little bit to Brody because he's younger. Carson, kind of, he believed it, but he's kind of smart. He knew something was up. He knew that, like, all right, that's not normal. There's something weird here, something I don't know about, or there's something paranormal going on. He's not an idiot. But he's 11, we shelter him a little bit, like try to keep him as young and, not naive, but just like as innocent as possible, Really good kid, really good kids. Both my boys are like, oh man, they're really good kids. So yeah. Okay, all the paranormal activity happened in this house. A lot of it happened in the first bedroom in the hallway. That was the playroom, and then it was then converted into a school room because this was like COVID started when we were there, and so we had to do like at-home schooling or whatever, whatever you call that. Damn COVID at-home schooling for public schools, whatever. And then toward the end of the time we were there, Brody he wanted his own room, or Carson did, because they had bunk beds in the other room. But it was time for them to kind of get their own room, and I was a little apprehensive for sure to let Brody go in the front room, because lots and lots and lots of voices in the front room, that front bedroom. It was always the same male voice. He always says, get out. Sometimes he's loud, sometimes he's quiet. I heard it all the time. Nobody else heard it. I've taken pictures, and it's always like it's right in the doorway there. I would take pictures in front of the doorway, and I'm not talking to it like, hey, I need you to come talk to me or come show yourself or blah, 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 blah. Just snap a photo there, and almost every single time I would get somebody say, get out, get out. And clear as day, I mean, it's real. So I was a little apprehensive about letting Brody get in there, but this needs to be known before you watch any of these other videos. I knew I don't know if instinctively or what, but I knew that like I was able to sense them, and I knew that I could hear them, and I could sense them. All right, I just knew it. I don't know. I'm not a wacko. I'm not. But I just knew it. So anyhow, I would tell when nobody would be in the house. I would say out loud, nobody mess with my family. You want to mess with somebody, you mess with me. You do not mess with my wife. You do not mess with my kids. Neither of them. You are not to let them know about you. You are nothing. And I'll be damned if, for the most part, except the Christmas tree incident, they listened. They didn't bother them. But they definitely made themselves known around me. But I didn't tell them to go away, really, unless when it got scary. But it didn't really get scary that often. But yeah, I mean, it got scary a couple of times for sure. But they listened for the most part. So we let Brody get in that front room. I put a little cross up, and from the Catholic bookstore or whatever, I went there and got holy water and ordained salt, all that jazz. They were really nice there. A couple crosses or crucifixes, and St. Michael's prayer, yada yada yada. And I'm in my neighborhood now. I've been on my way back from Fort Wayne, Indiana. My grandfather passed away. It was his funeral. I had about a 5-hour drive back home or so. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. So, if you know thoroughbred horses, that's where I am. Horse capital of the country. So they listened to me. They didn't bother the kids. They didn't bother my wife. My wife denied it a few times when I first started telling her about it. Like, babe, I'm telling you, something just touched me, or something just sat next to me, or I heard somebody whisper in my ear, or blah, 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 blah. She didn't believe me. One time, this was like when we hadn't been there that long. We were down in the kitchen. She was by the refrigerator, and I was telling her something, and she was just like, shut up. Like, just stop. Like, it's not real, So when she said that, so she's standing by the fridge. There's like this little wall that's, I don't know, like cuts off this island or whatever in the kitchen. And she was standing there, and right behind her is this little thin little area of the wall that like we hung keys on or whatever. Anyhow, nothing was behind it. Nobody could have done this. There were two loud. Well, I got my ring on, so it'd be like this, like that, right behind her head. And I remember seeing her, she literally like jumped like an inch off the ground and jumped away from that wall, and was like, what? Whoa. And yeah, and I knew exactly they were saying, hey, don't deny it, he's telling you the truth, is exactly what it was. And she still actually after that didn't believe in ghosts and stuff. Thought I was telling her a bunch of baloney, and that fucked with me for a long time, that she didn't believe me. She didn't, even when stuff like that would happen around her, it was like denial or something. But whatever, can't blame her, it's just some people act a certain way, or around paranormal, but stuff they don't know about, you know what I mean? The unknown. But anyhow, they didn't really mess with her, but they did that time. They let her know, like, no, he's telling you the truth. Yeah, so anyhow, all these videos are real. I have rambled on for God knows almost 25 minutes now. Thank you for watching this, and yeah, everything you're gonna see in any of these videos is real. If they're really short videos, it's because it's an EVP that's recorded on it or whatever. You can hear a voice, and it's just a 2 or 3 second clip. So yeah, thanks for watching, and share with people and whatever. I don't know, you don't have to share it or not. Follow me, I guess, if you want. I have so many videos. Literally, I filled up my whole entire iPhone 10 full of videos, and I've had to like offload some of them. Yeah, full body apparitions, orbs that are like, I mean, you can ask them to come. You can say, all right, I'm going to bed. Is there anybody here that wants to show themselves or say anything? and like just orbs will come out of the walls immediately after you say that and like dance around or fly around, like not just like zoop, not like that, but like zoop, 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 like really weird, kind of cool stuff. Anyhow, thanks for watching this. My name is Tom Blake. Feel free to subscribe. You can share this content that I put up here. I don't care, that's fine. Yeah, it's real. Thanks for watching. Bye.